Kalaim La, Alhaino Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wamalaki, Bahashim, Harwat, Kakurash, Barakathum, the water Bababor, Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily, to the men out there teaching a lightwise doctrine and say you shalom. Today we're going to get into a video whereas 40 plus nations are separating from the United States because the United States has shown the world that they cannot be trusted. Now, if you call yourself holding peace talks / negotiations, and then in the middle of those peace talks / negotiations, you decide to bomb a country, then there's no more talking for real. This is how the United States did Iran. And not only did they do it once, this is their second time doing this. So they have demonstrated to the world that their word has no weight and they cannot be trusted. So the other nations, which is being led by Canada, they have decided the only way to deal with the United States is to not deal with the United States. Very smart, because just like Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy. For like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Now Esau has declared himself to be an enemy even to the allied NATO nations. So why would they continue to treat the United States like an ally if the United States is treating them like enemies? You see what I'm saying? But see, the United States still wants respect. There's nothing to respect about this place. You have demonstrated that you are weak, pathetic, desperate, and you're being blackmailed to destroy your own country. Ain't that right, President Trump? We know. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Before we do that, I got to read this copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's go ahead and grab the video. The name of this video is The Tables Have Turned. The nations are cutting Babylon off from all trade. Nero has effed up. Now, you got to keep in mind that all these intentional F-ups are just that, intentional. Nobody's this stupid. This man is committing treason against his own country to lead you people to the slaughter because he don't want to go to jail. So he'd rather risk the lives of millions of people here and abroad because this one man does not want to go to jail. So he has made an agreement, a covenant with the fake Jews to destroy this country. Now, if you can't see that, you just slow. Let's go ahead and get it.
40 nations are currently in talks to basically cut the United States, because of Donald Trump, out of global trade. There are 195 recognized nations / countries on planet Earth. 195. 40 of them, led by Canada, banding together to just cut out the United States. So more than 1/5 of the planet working on a way to not have to deal with the United States anymore. This includes our neighbors to the north, Canada, our neighbors to the south, Mexico. This includes the European Union and the United Kingdom. This includes major Asian countries like Japan. According to these reports, and again, this is kind of all being, spearheaded by Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, what they're trying to do is avoid all of the tariffs that Donald Trump has put in place on everybody. And then, of course, they have typically had to do reciprocal tariffs, so everything for them gets more expensive because they're dealing with the United States. So all of these nations have gotten together and said, wow, dealing with the United States is expensive and it's costing us business. How do we get around that? And their solution is, well, what if we all just trade with each other and not these idiots? And that is currently what they're working on. So instead of relying on the US market to sell their goods, they're going to just start selling to each other and open up new markets that previously hadn't been there. They will grow. They will expand. They will see this financial boom from doing business and trading with everybody in this new coalition. And we, those of us here in the United States, will lose everything. Oh, sure, we'll still have to buy their goods because we depend upon them, and Trump will still have the tariffs, so we'll still pay a higher cost for that. But our goods here in the United States that are already having a hard time selling overseas, just ask any farmer, we will lose those markets. Farmers who are already facing financial ruin, which is exactly what they told Congress about 3 weeks ago, they're going to go under. They will lose everything. Manufacturing here in the United States will go extinct virtually. Because sure, we'll still need to make some things to sell to us here in America, but we're not going to have other countries coming to us knocking on our door saying, hey, can we buy all this stuff from you? Foreign companies that have invested in the United States, or at least pledged, as Trump says, they'll pull out. They'll go with their new trading partners. They'll move their plants to Canada. Maybe they'll move them to Japan or Europe or anywhere else in Asia or perhaps Mexico. The United States, if this coalition does, do what they're hoping to be able to do.
All right, we can come out of this. Yep. Let's get some scripts. Because see, starting new trade agreements is easier than dealing with a grown-ass child. That's what it basically comes down to. And a group of children backing him on every bad decision he makes. So yeah, it's easier not to deal with a grown-ass child. Let's go to the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. If I want to deal with you. And that's going to be the vibration throughout the earth amongst the nation of Edom anyway. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, spoil mean to rob, and was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously. These tariffs are very treacherous dealings. And they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Yeah. But see, that's what do you expect them to do? Just keep taking the United States bullshit? No. Too much money to be made. So the easiest thing to do is cut these greedy children off. That's it. But now, the domino effect of this, because right now the Straits of Hormuz is in jeopardy, which is a major trade route. So I would say in the upcoming weeks, upcoming months, it's going to be a price hike in everything, because what controls price? Supply and demand. So if you barely have something, they're going to raise the price on it. If you have an abundance of something, the price is supposed to go down. But since it's not an abundance, it's not going to be an abundance of things, the price is going to go up, while still considering it's going to be a lot of price gouging in the equation. Remember COVID when they was charging $10 for a case of water, $20 for a case of water? Yeah. And to add pain, even more pain, your dollar is crashing, which means you got to pay more dollars to get the same products. The American dollar has become the new peso because the dollar is dead. So you're going to be paying more. Remember about 20 years ago when we was in middle school or whatever, and we should stop by the store and get a soda, a bag of chips, some candy, maybe a Snicker bar or something, and the rest of the change we got penny candy with, right? All for $1. That's when the dollar was strong. The dollar is weak now. That's why you paying $3.50 for one soda now. That's why you paying $4 and $5 for a bag of chips like this. That's why you paying $2 down to $3 for the same Snicker bar, because your dollar is dying. But they're gonna tell you it's inflation. No, your dollar is dead. It's the new peso. Think about how many pesos it take to make up a dollar. That's what the dollar is doing now. Matter of fact, let's look at it. Let's ask Google how many pesos make a dollar. $17.93 pesos equals $1. Because that's how weak the peso is. See what I'm saying? Now you get it? Let's keep rolling. And it's time, because it's prophecy anyway. It's the Lord's will for America to be destroyed slowly through gradualism, through prophecy, through events that the Lord has set up for this country to fall. This is Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Meaning Esau was allotted a certain amount of time to rule. And we are fastly approaching the end of that time. That's why it's the end of an age. That's why it says, let's get it. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This is the end of an era, the end of an age, the end of Esau's rulership, and the beginning of the Israelites' rulership under Lord Yahushua and King David and 144,000. Oh, let's get this. Let's go back to second Ezra in here, though. We going to chapter 11. But see, they so stupid, but they think they smart. No, you're stupid. No, we in the book of Judith. Hold on. Salahi. All right. This is second Ezra, chapter 11. We'll start at verse 39. Are not thou that it remaineth of the four beasts whom I have made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? Esau gonna destroy himself like a dumbass he is. Verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world with great fearfulness. Yeah, terrorism, threats, intimidation tactics, kidnapping, robbery, murder, theft. These are all Esau's tactics. And don't forget lying about everything. Let's see. Let's start over verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were passed, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. That's the only way this man knows how to do business, deceitfully. Look at this failed con man slash hustler slash pedomite you got in the White House. Just a failure all the way around, yet he still got a job. Over 38,000 lies, he still got a job. If I was lying like that at my job, I would have been fired a long time ago. But see, you Edomites are like, no, we can't charge him. He white. We can't do that. That's why your kingdom gonna be destroyed, because you allowing it. Now is the time to do something, though it's not gonna help, because it's the Lord's will for this country to be destroyed and you Edomites going into slavery along with the other nations. But common sense should tell you now's the time to do something about it, because if you don't cry when he bring that hammer and set you up to be destroyed, to set you up to be bombed by these other nations. Just like Doo-Doo is doing his people over there in our land, setting them up to be slaughtered. But he's supposed to be their leader. He's supposed to keep them safe. No, because these are selfish, lying children, Edomites. They don't have empathy. They wasn't given empathy. Therefore, they are unfit to rule by default. Because if you don't care about your citizens, if you don't put your citizens first, you're not a king. They're not kings anyway, because they don't have a drop of royal blood in them. So they just cosplaying. Just like when they whitewashed everything, that was cosplay. Shoe coming out now. Let's get this one. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Meaning, you don't have free will. The Lord has put the spirit on Trump and all his flunkies to destroy this country. He's also going to put the spirit on the leaders of other nations to bomb this country, because it's his will. And there ain't nothing you can do to stop the Lord's will. But see, this is a learning experience for you Edomites, because the world is seeing what you are really about. Yeah, when you have an advantage, or when you want to burn down black towns, yeah, you with all the smoke then. But see, when one of your own is dogging you out, you silent crickets. You are showing the world how weak you are. You are showing the world how dumbed down you have become by allowing all this madness in your kingdom. Let's get this one. Book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 5. Let's go to the whole chapter. And we can start at verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become a habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. Listen to this. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. Now it's time for America to pay, and all the inhabitants therein. Verse 6. Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, and so much torment and sorrow give her. For she hath said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall not see no sorrow. This is the pride of America. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall suddenly, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning. It's talking about the United States. That's the her. Standing afar off, the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. The Lord's will this place be destroyed. That's why these other nations are reacting to the treachery of the United States. They're reacting to the terrorism of the United States. They're reacting to the wickedness of the United States. But see, if you react to the United States wickedness, you the terrorist then. That's why all the other nations are doing this. Verse 6, reward her as she had rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. Because the other nations have realized the United States doesn't know what respect is. That's the bottom line. That's why it says there's nothing to respect about this place. The United States does not know what respect is. They don't recognize the sovereignty of other nations. Look how they did Maduro. And where is Maduro and his wife? See? Unjustly. Unjust. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. But see, the United States be quick to say that's not fair. When you've been dogging out and robbing these nations for hundreds of years. But when they do it to you, that's not fair. They're terrorists. This place deserves destruction. Look at all the blood, the innocent blood these people spill from Israelites. This place deserves destruction. Romans chapter 9, verse 22. This is talking about Edom. What if Yahweh, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Who are the vessels fitted to destruction? Edomites. Verse 23. And that he might make known the glory of Salakia, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had prepared unto glory. Who are the vessels of mercy? The Israelites. Just like Esau is also known as, or referred to, as a vessel fitted for destruction. No, it's another one. We got that here. I got it. Let's get this one. Romans chapter 9, verse 21. How, it's like, hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? Who's the vessels to dishonor? Edomites. Who's the vessels of honor? Israelites. Let me see what else I got. Get this one. Psalm chapter 55, verse 19. Yahweh shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Salah, because they have no changes. Therefore they fear not Yahweh. These have the shit these people are doing, they have been doing this for thousands of years. And because they haven't been punished yet, they fear not Yahweh. That goes back to that precepts back to Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, it is fully set in the hearts of the sons of men to do evil. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture. It's like a spoiled child who never got an ass whooping. He finna get an ass whooping now. Verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with them. He had broken his covenant. The other nations realized this man cannot keep his word. So they made the wise decision to not even deal with these lying children. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Your heart is your mind. He's always thinking about how to take somebody to war, how to declare war on drugs, war on nature, war on the animals, war on the water, war on the food, war on the people. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. That's Esau's answer to everything: death, violence, destruction. And yet these people got the caucasity to make movies about them in the future living on other planets. First of all, that's not going to happen because you're not leaving this planet. You have never left Earth. So that moon shit, it's been exposed. You never been to the moon. And you damn sure ain't going to Mars. And if you do get to Mars, how you going to get back? They don't have rocket fuel on Mars. They don't have rocket fuel on the moon. How you going to get back? See, these people don't think before they lie. No, it's not going to happen because guess what? You was in rulership for 4 kingdoms on the planet Earth, and you destroyed everything. You think the Lord going to allow you to leave this planet and spread your wickedness throughout the universe? No, it's not going to happen, homie. Let's get this one. Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. The many miseries are approaching swiftly. And all you Israelites out there that are still on the fence, y'all better get y'all mind right because you're running out of time. Let's go to Proverbs. Chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. They mourn. They still over there in Iran mourning. Verse 12. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. Is the White House not a prime example of that? Yes. Get this one. Yeah, Iran, they still over there mourning because of what? Because of James chapter 5, verse 6. Ye have condemned and killed the just, he does not resist you. Now, I'm not calling the Iranians just, but this attack was unprovoked. So, yeah. Get another one. Get a few more, we can close. Book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. We still here. How they hunt us down in the streets? Yeah, Israelites. We still here. And you know how the scripture go, if we are caught in his hands when the Lord pull up, that's his ass. Let me see if I can find it. The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Mm-hmm. Let's see, let's get this one. Psalms chapter 73, verse 17. Until I went into the sanctuary of Yahweh, then understood I their end. What that means is, until you come to the full understanding of the Bible, you know that prophecy will play out regardless of what these people do or what these people say. So if the Bible says these people are going to be destroyed, their country is going to be destroyed and they're going into captivity, that's exactly what's going to happen. So it don't matter what they say, what kind of psyops or propaganda they put out there. You know they going into captivity. And they can't change that. Let's get this one and we can close on this one. The book of Psalms, chapter 21. Hold up. Psalm chapter 21, we start at verse 7. For the king trusteth in the Lord Yahweh, and through the mercy of the Most High, he shall not be moved. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies, thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord Yahweh shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shall thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. That sounds like extinction to me. Well, I ain't gonna say extinction. I know you like this word though. That sounds like permanent deportation from the planet. Verse 11, for they intended evil against thee. They imagine a mischievous device which they are not able to perform, because the Lord throwing monkey wrenches in it. Thou shalt make them turn their back. When thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon the strings against the face of them. That means they cocking them arrows back, the missiles. Yeah, they can't perform their devices. All these little wicked plans, the Lord throwing monkey wrenches. Get this one. That wasn't what I was looking for, but it's good. Here you go. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. That's what they think. Remember, a covetous man is greedy beyond control. The wicked through the pride in his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing, and deceit is fraud. And fraud under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. This is how this man operates. Now the monkey wrenches. Let me see. We'll get this last one. I'll show you how the Lord messing this man up. Here you go. Psalms chapter 11. Verse 5, the Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence his soul hateth. Listen to this. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, monkey wrenches, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of his cup. You remember when the Lord said you reap what you sow? If you sow death, violence, and destruction, that's what you're going to reap. And ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you, Esau, because everybody tired of you, even your woman. So you Pedomites, y'all get ready to go into captivity. Call Halayim La Lahai now Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach Wa Malaki by Hashem Harawat Wakagorash Barakathum. The water Bible Bawa Kwam Yashrala. Shalom.